Hey, this is Dave Wood from musictrainer.com, and today it's power chords. So starting off, what is a power chord? A power chord is what you hear in most rock songs. Anything heavy, grungy, rock sounding, if you will, that's what a power chord is called. Sometimes it's called an open fifth chord. We'll get into the theory of why it's called that, so and so, much later on down the road. For right now, it's just a chord shape, and that's how we're going to take it from there. So starting off, first finger on the 3rd fret, low E string. 3rd finger on the 5th fret on the A string. Your pinky, 4th finger, on the 5th fret on the D string. All right, so now what that is, getting into a little bit of the whole theory thing, is that this is your root note. This is G. This is D, which is the 5th of G, and then a G again. So it's a very simple chord. It's just G on the outsides, and your D, which is your 5th, which is why it's called an open 5th chord. Okay, so if it's hard to play, again, think about your thumb position, think about the arch. All those factors definitely play some kind of role. So with this, switch around, move this chord all the way around the neck. Just sort of get a feel for it. So now the nice part about that chord is this, is that you can switch around and switch strings as well. So these two sets of strings, starting off of the E string and the A string, are both candidates for playing these power chords. So same thing on this set of strings. Okay? It takes a little bit of time to get that switch to happen. If it makes it easier for you, start off like this and just kind of move around just to get your fingers to kind of lock together. It makes it happen a lot faster that way. So here's an exercise. Using your metronome, set at about 50, let's do this. We're going to do 1 measure of the G chord, 2 beats of the C chord, and 2 beats of the D chord. But these are power chords, and I'll show you. 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. One other tip for power chords. Of course, this works playing anywhere starting with your 1st finger on a certain fret. Now, what happens when you want to play an open power chord? In other words, using just the low E string and the A string. So what happens is this: if you're playing an F chord down here on the 1st fret, same power chord position, and you want to play an E power chord, well, you take this and move this down. There's an open E power chord, right? Same thing. But sometimes it's a little bit easier and a lot faster to grab this chord using just your 1st finger. And you see guys doing this all the time, okay? Where you just have your 1st finger right on the 2nd fret, the same place that you would be if you were playing a true power chord, okay? Now you kind of have to flatten out your finger and break all the rules. Well, there are really no rules, but guidelines, let's put it that way. But for right now, you're going to take your 1st finger and bar just these 2 strings, all right? And that's your power chord for the E chord. Now the same thing also applies for the A string. Okay? Now to move that up to a power chord, keep in mind it's the same thing. Same exact thing, just different fingers. That's all it is. It's just a much easier grab. All right, so that's it for power chords.